And welcome, beautiful people. Happy Thursday to all of you guys out there. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. As always, it's your boy, your host, Jayson Estrera. And now for today, we're going to try to cover a couple of things. This is going to be one of those where we try to figure our way through the show while we get ready for game 5 tonight. It's fucking been raining all day long. It's gloomy as hell. But hey, man, fuck it. We'll get right into it. We have some coaching stuff that we're going to talk about, some just basketball stuff, something I was thinking about with regards to the playoffs. And we're going to talk some WNBA stuff as well at the end. So first things first, speaking of the playoffs, we have some what seems to be pretty good news, right? Supposedly Kristaps Porzingis is I don't think he's been cleared to play, but according to this, I don't know Latvian, but apparently it says, "Thank you to everyone who supports and sympathizes throughout the season. I'll be back in line soon. See you in the finals and then in the arena with your own." And obviously the finals referring to the NBA finals. But where was it? Arena with our home seems to be him signaling to, the Olympics, the 2024 Olympics. So that's obviously really good news. I think they can really use him in a series against either one of these guys, whether it's the Dallas Mavericks or the Minnesota Timberwolves. So that's really good news. That's really good to hear. Coming out of the Boston Celtics camp. Let me see. What is this? I was wondering though. I don't remember what his injury actually was. Right here. A right soleus. What the fuck is a right soleus sprain? Right soleus. It's a calf strain. Interesting. So, I guess it's not a low calf sprain, which is what they've been using to mask an Achilles injury. So this seems to be in the calf. So I guess he really just needed some rest, and hopefully he's doing a lot better. It's been a month since he's played basketball, so ramping up into something like that with those bigs, right? The reality is he's gonna be out there to be a decoy, especially if first couple of games that he comes back. His responsibility would have to be to pull. If I'm assuming it's the Mavericks, Gafford or Lively or PJ Washington away from the paint when they're on offense, so that Jaylen Brown and Tatum have room to operate in the paint. And then on defense, he's going to have to stay with those bigs anyway. He probably won't be able to move around too much, and he'll just have to use his size. So something to watch out for. His movement is probably going to still be a little bit limited. He probably won't be in the right shape. So it's a good sign for the Celtics because they'll have an extra body in there and he can shoot. However, don't expect too much out of him either. Now, I saw this and I thought it was kind of funny, so I wanted to take a look at it with y'all. But Brian Keefe has been named the Wizards head coach. Now, Brian Keefe was the interim head coach that took over this year on January 25th when he replaced Wes Unseld Jr. Washington was 7-36 at the time, and then they went 8-31 the rest of the way. Like, yo, I can't believe that's a real fucking sentence, bro. Like, they went 7-36 and went 8-31 the rest of the way. And he's the 26th head coach in franchise history. I don't know if that's a flex or not. And then where was it here? This is where I thought it was. Where did here on Jordan Poole said, BK did a tremendous job, Poole said shortly after the end of the season. Credit to him for rallying our guys together through a long season, playing players to their strengths all across our team and keeping guys together. He did a really good job of allowing me to play my true position and play more on ball. So he did a really good job. Credit to him. It was a tough move right away being in the middle of the season. What do you mean? Playing players to their strengths all across our team and keeping guys together. You motherfuckers went 8-31. Like, why? Yo, sometimes, like, they gotta stop asking players these things because they just come up with some bullshit. Like, what are we reading? Excuse me, but that's hilarious. Yeah, obviously I still don't expect much from them unless they make some kind of big move. I did read here that he was on the Oklahoma City staff when they went to the finals in 2012, and then he was in Brooklyn before the Wizards. So take that information, do with that information, do what you want with that. I don't see it. I think it's funny that Poole says he put him in his right position, which is the fucking bench, apparently. So I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was funny that was a headline. Now, moving on to more coaching news. Let's see here.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if their next head coach is anybody but JJ Redick. Everything that I'm hearing is JJ Redick, and from what I know, he's doing some background, calling some candidates, some assistant coaching candidates who might be able to join his staff or might not be able to join his staff. And so,
Okay.
yeah, it's I'm pretty positive it'll be JJ.
So, this has been a rumor for a while now. And I was of the mindset that there's no way, right? Because, when I grew up watching basketball, the Lakers were like the golden organization, literally. Like, they wear purple and gold. It's fucking royalty. And I'm not saying that JJ wouldn't be a good coach, but that's my especially, like, I think Mark Jackson also does. What's up, Elijah? Well, for me, it's like he needs to go through the process, right? Like, he needs to go through. He hasn't even been with an organization. Like, at least Steve Kerr was, he was GM, so he was a part of the mix. You know what I'm saying? He's been away from basketball, and although he's covering it and he's coaching kids, it's not the same. I don't think it's exactly the same thing, right? I think what Steve Kerr gained from being in a management position was the fact that he was able to speak to players from almost like a boss perspective as opposed to a peer. And he was able to practice that. And, I'm sure he learned a lot from it, right? Because even though, yeah, players now might respect JJ as a player, but the second he starts telling you what to do, how are you going to react? And that's something that it takes time. And I think he needs to practice that as well, too, right? Like, there's so much more to coaching than X's and O's, especially when you get into the NBA where everyone, for the most part, knows basketball. It's, what do they say? The old thing that they used to say, are you a leader of men? Can he lead a bunch of other men? And that's really what it is, right? And the fact that he is going to go from a podcast to a fucking head coaching job, this is turning like it's like a celebrity coach hiring, damn near, right? And is that what the Lakers are turning into? Are they turning into, we're here for show and not championships? Did it start when LeBron joined that team? Is that when this little circus started? Seriously, right? Like, for me, I just wish he went through the process or some kind of process and not just from a podcast to a head coaching job. Because like you said, Elijah, there's so many people that are like really worthy of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Why is it not popping up though? I don't know. I'll take a look at that later. Anyway, but yeah, so apparently that shit is set in stone. JJ Redick is going to be the LA Lakers head coach, and if that's true, then LeBron is gonna stay. They're gonna get Bronny James, and they'll probably get like Trae Young or some shit. Like, it seems like everything is lining up for them to pretty much get everything on their wish list. So let's see. I guess we'll have to see what happens. But everyone is saying that shit is set in stone and is over and done with. Let's see. What do we have next? Now, I thought that this is a little funny because I don't know if you guys saw this shit the other day. Let me see, where is it? But this guy Wemby, so apparently he had replied to a comment about, when he was a 16-year-old NBA prospect dominating grown men in a season opener in France, and he responded 2 days ago on a comment that was 187 weeks old, and it just reminded me of, where is this? What the fuck? And it just reminded me of this. And it made me think of petty NBA players. Because, all these old heads keep talking about trash talking, toughness is not around anymore. But then you have, and we'll go over it in a second, also what Anthony Edwards said after Game 4's game and what he said in Denver. Some Michael Jordan shit, telling the ball boy that they were going to be back Game 7 in Game 5. Like, who the fuck does that? We see Luka, always he's been cussing everyone out in the playoffs. Jokic was, the quietest one that we've seen in the NBA, and he had apparently heard all of this Rudy Gobert talk and fucking took it upon himself to birth that motherfucker. So, that narrative that the old basketball is gone, I think we're seeing a return of it. The difference is when guys now trash talk, I think for whatever reason, older guys see it as like, oh, you're just acting tough. And sometimes, for the most part, people are, but you don't like it when they're not trash talking. And you also don't like it when they are trash talking. So what the fuck are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? You got Patrick Beverley talking smack to everyone. The spirit of the NBA, I think, is alive and well right now. And don't let all of these narratives, don't get me wrong, I grew up on 90s basketball and literally grew up on 2000s basketball. So I get it to an extent, right? I understand it. Like, that time was really, really great. However, let's not pretend as if we're not seeing really amazing things happening right now. Like, there's, Luka trash. These things are going to be spoken about years from now. People are going to be asking Rudy Gobert, what the fuck did Luka used to say in the game? Or, they're going to be asking Kawhi, the people that used to guard him, and they're going to have stories the same way people had stories about Larry Bird. What the hell is Wemby going to start? Like, people are going to have these stories, right? And I think it's coming back. It's just going to take time. But it's, like I said, it's just a really exciting time of basketball. And I've been saying it for all season long. I think the future of the NBA is here already, and we don't have to wait for it no more. But yeah, speaking of Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks, looking forward to Game 5 tonight.
We down 3-1, bro.
Let's see what this is.
We down 3-1, bro. This is perfect, bro.
I told you.
Good night. We playing free. We ain't got nothing to lose.
And so there we obviously, Anthony Edwards excited to play Game 5, and you could say whatever you want about this dude. He loves to play basketball, and any fan of basketball, you gotta love that. Like, this guy wants to go out there and compete regardless of the situation, regardless of how he played. Obviously a lot of people have been going on and on about his play recently. I said this early about Tatum. Sometimes you just have bad stretches. Like, sometimes you just have bad shooting nights, or you just can't figure it out. And that's when having a great team around you comes into play, especially in the playoffs, where those other guys are going to have to really help you more than usual to maybe win 2 games out of the 4, and then you get to really lead them for 2 or 3 games. Like, it's how this shit works out. But I was talking a little bit yesterday. It's probably too little too late, and I love his enthusiasm, but there's a reason as to why no team has ever come back from 3-0. And that team that goes up 3-0 typically has figured out, or I guess every single time has figured out ways to be successful against you in 3 straight games. And usually that game that they lose, it's just a mental lapse. They were too comfortable. Bad shooting night like Kyrie had the other night. Like, it was, like I said, the Timberwolves had a great game. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns finally showed up as the duo. And they still only won by 5 points. I think they have a great future ahead of them. However, when it comes to this particular series, I don't see them coming out of it. That's a tough ask. That's a really, really tough ask. Now, I do think that every single game has been really, really close. So, without that game winner by Luka the other game, this could be 2-2. That's how close this entire series has been. I think the first 3 games, it's like 13 points in total was the difference. So this series has been really, really close. So can the Minnesota Timberwolves roll the table? Can they run the table? Maybe. But I think at the end of the day, the Dallas Mavericks have, 77-11? Is that their numbers? Kyrie and Luka. And it just is what it is, man. It just is what it is. I said it before. I don't know if I have faith in Karl Anthony Towns. He shows up one game, not really in it the other game. Wait, what's who are you talking about, Elijah? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it is. Are you talking about the Dallas Mavericks? Are you talking about the Mavericks in game 4? Is that what you're talking about? Hey, you're talking about the Timberwolves. I mean, like I said, I feel like when it comes to, yeah, I'm on the fence about what you're saying. So if I'm hearing you correctly, and I wish this chat would come up, bro, but I gotta fix it later. But I think what I hear you saying is you want the players to look like they care more. Essentially, I don't know if I'm simplifying that too much. But yeah, that was my issue with Karl Anthony Towns after game 3, and he was over here talking about fucking 1,500 shots, and I'm like, bro, you're missing the entire point. First of all, just own the fact that you played bad, but 2, don't make some bullshit like I'm shooting a bunch of shots. I didn't like that. But yeah, so honestly, I think, like I was just saying, I do think a part of this series is one that game winner by Luka, right? If he didn't hit that, and they obviously won last game, this whole conversation would look very, very differently. You know what I'm saying? Because they'd be going into game 5 2-2. So I do think that maybe that's why they've been more nonchalant. That's why they're acting as if they're not really under pressure, because maybe their conversation is, hey, we could be 2-2 or 3-2 or 3-1, because the other 2 games were also really close. And maybe they're just trying to have some poise. Like I said, I've seen it with the Boston Celtics. Down the stretch, they could be down 8, 9, 10 points, and they never seem rattled. They act like they've been there. So hopefully it's not some kind of act, right? That they're just looking like they're unbothered, that they're just trying to stay composed. But yeah, like I said, Elijah, it was bothering the fuck out of me the way that Karl Anthony Towns responded after Game 3. He was pretending as if like oh my god, my shot just isn't falling, when that's not the reason why you're playing bad. Your jump shot going in or not going in is not the reason why we're saying you're playing bad. Yeah, so we just need some accountability from him. But speaking on these stars, I was thinking about this, and between all of them, Luka and Kyrie, Edwards and Towns, Brown and Tatum, which stars or which star has the most to gain by winning a championship? And I think who has the least to gain is really easy. And I think that's Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, because they're really young, right? Like, the way this would help Anthony Edwards' legacy is it would give him a leg up, right? People are going to expect him to win a championship when he's like 26, 27, but he's only 22. So winning one early and then winning one later, it's like he gave himself an extra one. Like, it's like he stole a championship basically, right? For his legacy. But it doesn't do much for him at the moment. It doesn't put him over anyone, although some people are going to start talking about it. Realistically, it doesn't. That's a totally different subject, Elijah. That's a totally different subject. Yeah. These guys are in the playoffs right now, so hopefully they're just trying to stay composed. But yeah. I'm a Knicks fan for a long time, so I feel you, bro. I feel you. But yeah, so for Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, I don't really think that they gain much from this. Obviously it's a championship and it's a ring, but in terms of their legacy, they don't have one yet. So it doesn't sway it one way or the other. Now for Luka and Kyrie, I think this would do a lot for Kyrie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, for the shit that he's gotten in his career, how the NBA has seemingly tried to blackball him and kind of failed. And for him to be where he is, it's a testament to how great he is, but just his, he's just not quitting, bro. He just keep coming, and having a second championship on a team without LeBron, I think would do a good amount for his legacy, right? Winning on two different teams, it kind of takes him away from that LeBron shadow, and now it puts him in the Luka shadow, unfortunately. But I do still think that it does a lot for him, and he's getting a lot of respect right now. So I think it would do a lot for him. For Luka, it not so much a team thing, but for Luka, a championship would validate his style of play. Like, his style of play that a lot of people have questioned. Even I have at times have questioned this. It's a James Harden style of play. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's refined the James Harden style, and I think a part of it is he's a bigger dude, so he's able to take contact a lot better. I think he utilizes the mid range a lot more than James Harden did in those Houston days. So he's able to get some easier shots, right? James Harden was so reliant on that step back three. So I think it would validate his style of play and all the praise he's gotten as an individual. And it obviously adds to this Luka magic shit that we've been seeing. So I think it would add a lot to him, even though he's really young. And then when we look on the other side, for Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it now they're all of their team success isn't for nothing, because now it gets, they have, what is it, 2 or 3 finals appearances with a ring, all of their Eastern Conference finals appearances. Maybe Jayson Tatum finally breaks into the MVP conversation with, similar numbers next year. Like I guess it validates their path, right? As opposed to Luka's more individualized path over the last couple of years. It validates, Jayson Tatum taking more of a back seat, allowing his guys to be great, right? And so for me, if I really... I think it would do more for Luka and Kyrie. I'm not going to lie to you. I really do. Because the Boston Celtics have shown that they are this good year in and year out. Dallas was just out of the playoffs last year. And granted, it's a different team. They've grown a lot. But the Boston Celtics have shown that they have the ability of getting to this point. Now it's just a matter of getting over the hump. For Dallas, there is no guarantee that they get back here. And maybe we'll talk about it some more later. But even if they win the championship this year, for example, I don't even think they'd be the favorite in the Western Conference next year. Ironically enough. So I think this would do a lot for Luka and Kyrie. Both of those guys would gain a lot from winning this title. And on top of that, compared to Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Luka and Kyrie are the more popular players. So this, when they say players are just popular without rings, this kind of changes their category, at least for Luka. And then, Kyrie right now, he's been gaining even more popularity recently after he was getting killed for a couple years. So I think this would do a lot for him as well, too. So who has the most to gain from winning a championship? In my opinion, it would be Luka and Kyrie. Now, speaking of the stars, right? Let's move on over to the WNBA, where, she is fucking nice, bro. I can't even lie. Like, she has been killing everybody. So last night we saw the Minnesota Lynx take on the Las Vegas
opening
Aces.
Possession to Las Vegas. Skip pass to Plum. Puts it on the deck. Kicks it out. Clark, the three-point continue to take. And Las Vegas allows the most threes in the league so far. Wilson, shot
block, give me that.
Those two have a long-time friendship. They used to have a
right back. Oh,
Uhas kicks it out. Xander Lassini relocates. Fire. Seconds of the first quarter. Young. Wilson will take the
bro.
two.
Her jump shot is
flowing, and it's
cash.
absolutely
Like her midi.
how it goes.
Wilson.
Her midi is cash, bro.
Wilson all
Look at that
tangled up.
pass. Oh,
Plum.
body left.
Temporarily by Collier.
Good
And now Clark
pass.
gets it back, cutting the lane. And
If you're Bridget Carlton. It's in a 2.
yes, 16 points, 10 rebounds. left in the third quarter. Williams tried to get it to Juhas. Dorka fell down. Here comes Wilson. Asia beat Kelsey Plum. Plum takes the three over Juhas. 7-point Las Vegas lead. The Aces led by as many as 12 points. That was in the third quarter. Plum, tough. Here is Wilson. Asia Wilson back in the game with 22 points. 9
Bro, her
boards.
mid-range is so
this game
fucking
and on
crazy.
the road as well, their first road game of the season.
Wilson, offensive rebound twice to 66. Las Vegas improved.
So, you know, we saw the Las Vegas Aces beat the Minnesota Lynx 80-66. And that was behind Asia Wilson's 29 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. Jesus. She shot 11 of 23, 7 of 10 from the free throw line. And Jackie Young also added in 19 points, was 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 2 of 3 from the line, added 5 rebounds and 10 assists. For Minnesota, Napisha Collier had 18 points, 6 of 16 from the field, 1 of 12, 5 of 5 from the line, 13 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and a block shot. So for me, obviously the story of the game was Asia Wilson, and bruh, it seems like she going for another MVP. You know, I think it was obviously close last year, right? But bro, she's averaging 26.2, 13.2 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. Where's this shit? Where's the fucking view all stats per game. Bruh, 2.6 blocks per game, 1.4 steals. Last year, she averaged 22.8 and 9.5 rebounds, 1.6 assists. Like, all her numbers are up. And, like, you know, obviously Caitlin Clark is the most popular WNBA and women's basketball player in the world right now. But Asia Wilson, and I know Breanna Stewart got, you know, she gonna have some shit to say about that too, but these are the best, like, these are the best players that they have, and it just is what it is. Like, let's see, how much is, because I know she got to be on here too. Like, damn, like Cameron Brink is actually leading the league. I think I was talking about this in blocks per game, 3 a game. Jesus, she might end up getting Rookie of the Year, but we'll see. Where is? Like, what is she averaging right now? Oh, like Breanna Stewart's only averaging 18.6 and 9 rebounds right now. So all of her numbers are down a little bit. But yeah, so it looks like Asia Wilson is going for her 3rd MVP award. How many players have? Let's see. Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, and Lauren Jackson have won the award the most with 3 selections each. So, you know, getting 3 MVPs would put Asia Wilson in a real unique space. And when you talk about perfect timing, right? Obviously, Caitlin Clark is the most popular player in the WNBA. But she's shining light on all of these players, and she might catapult someone like Asia Wilson into the stratosphere, who has a personality and has the game to go with it, right? like 26-13 is nuts. Efficient, like she get buckets, like it just, they won last year. So, you know, everyone is, and obviously it's not just Caitlin Clark, you know, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, all of these women have really shined a light on the WNBA. And like I said, I think that the current stars are going to benefit from it, right? They keep doing what they're doing. It looks like from those numbers, it looks like Aja Wilson understands what the hell is going on, and that all of these eyes are going to be now on them because of these women that have just come in. So she going to put up some big fucking numbers every night. And it's smart. You take advantage of it, and people are going to realize she also has the personality to go with it. And boom, she's out of here. She's going to have her shoe come out. And like, timing couldn't have been more perfect for her. And, you know, like I said, I think that's a beautiful thing that these women are getting their due diligence and they're getting their shine, because, you know, they have been amazing. And moving forward, I think Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, and Angel Reese are going to figure it out and eventually become stars of the league. But for now, it's Aja Wilson's WNBA, and they just a part of it. So, but speaking of Caitlin Clark, so apparently, let me see, where's the shit right here. Apparently, Caitlin Clark's WNBA coach has lost the locker room. So this is Christy Sides, their head coach, and Nalissa Smith apparently liked this tweet. Nalissa Smith was a walking double-double last year, shot nearly 50%, just came off a wildly successful overseas stint. She took 3 shots tonight, icing out your young talent for no apparent reason other than she played bad defense that one time. Ain't the way to do it. And obviously these are, you know, fans are saying she's got to get up out of here, she's got to go, blah, 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 blah. And I think she now understands, based on the way that game went the other night, I think she now understands that her entire job is dependent on whether Caitlin Clark finds some success or not. And that's unfortunate, because now a player like, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not so familiar with Nalissa Smith, but yeah, I feel like stuff like this is going to happen, especially when all she's trying to do right now is save her own ass. And the only way to save her own ass is with Caitlin Clark. And I think she's going to do whatever she can. She's probably watching as much Iowa footage as she can as we speak, trying to implement their offense so that Caitlin Clark can have these 30-point games a lot more often. But I don't know. I don't know who the fuck they would sign. Hey, Elijah, maybe they go sign Mark Jackson. Maybe they should go sign Mark Jackson. We saw what he did with Steph Curry. Hey, yo, we just fixed it. We just fixed it. We just fixed it. You fire Christy Sides as, you know, as the Indiana Fever head coach, and you hire Mark Jackson to recreate the Golden State Warriors. And then in a couple years, when Klay Thompson is completely trash and Steph Curry is still godlike and he wants to move teams, then you find a way to hire Steve Kerr as the head coach. I think we just solved the just recreate the Golden State Warriors. Am I lying? Bob Myers is sitting at ESPN. Just hire his ass too. Like, fuck, man. Yeah, like, bro. Yeah, that's what they should do. Like, I'm sorry, Nalissa Smith. I'm sure you're a great player. I think you're just suffering from a woman that's trying to save her fucking head coaching job. And I don't know if This is a direct correlation, but I'm telling you right now, that's what she's trying to do. And you might just be drawing. You might have just fucking, yeah, bro. What a plot twist. But yeah, I'm so sorry to this woman, because she's probably nice, and this lady's just trying to save her job. Wait. I think we just solved the WNBA and the Indiana Fever. They're gonna turn what's her name? No, but think about it. Fuck. What is where is Cause they're big. I feel like they could turn her into like Loki, like Draymond, but she could score. What's her name? Yeah, Aaliyah Boston. Yo, they could turn her into Draymond, but she can get buckets though. So she's a Draymond that get they need to think about this. You gotta fucking you gotta make this shit go viral and make these motherfuckers think about this. Just remake the Golden State Warriors, goddamn it. But anyway, moving on to the last topic. So I read this earlier. Apparently, Unrivaled Basketball is this new league, and one of the founders, I believe. Let me see. Let me not butcher this shit. Co-founded by Breanna Stewart and Nafisha Collier. Will launch in January, and it has the highest average salary for a women's team. Well, Unrivaled League will offer highest average salary in women's pro team sports history. So I was like, I was like, dang, that's really cool. So, obviously I was just looking a little bit into it. It's a 3-on-3 women's professional basketball league, co-founded by Breanna Stewart, obviously. This is where I was a little bit confused. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a women's 3-on-3 6-team league, co-founded by Breanna Stewart. The new league begins its first season in January and will take place in the winter, which is opposite of the WNBA season. The initial 30 players also receive equity ownership in the league. So that's where the fuck I got confused, because it's a 3-on-3 league with 6 teams. Now, I'm not no motherfucking math whiz, but 3 times 6 is not 30. I'm so sorry. And then I kept reading, and then I was like, oh. So Unrivaled will feature a compressed full court play style with 30 women being a part of the inaugural season. Okay, so that's why they need 30 women, because they're playing full court. I'm like, why the fuck? I was so fucking confused, bro. Like, I was like, 3 times 6 is not 30. I don't care what you tell me. But they're going to be playing full court. And reportedly, several superstars have already signed on now. If you don't have fucking Aja Wilson out there cooking everybody, I don't want to watch this shit. Yeah, but honestly, because I kind of like this idea, Elijah. You know why? Because I think the WNBA is now more physical than the NBA. And I would like to see these women play with a lot more space and pace. So in a 3-on-3 setting, they're going to be chucking up threes. Don't let Sabrina and Caitlin Clark get some space. They're going to be chucking, splashing half-court threes before those girls could even get to the fucking under the paint, bro. So it could be really exciting. It could be this open space. We get to see them make plays and passes. Aja Wilson might score 50 on one of these motherfuckers. Like, who knows what could happen? Everyone was saying, oh, it's like a big 3, but it's not the big 3, because it would be current WNBA players, not former WNBA players. So it is going to be totally different. Hopefully they get some, like, realistically, they can only have like one big, because you can't have more than one big if you're going to be running back and forth full court. So that'll be fun to watch, and you're gonna need guards. So you're gonna need your Sabrinas, your Caitlin Clarks, your Kelsey Plums, your Lexi Brown. Like, you're gonna need these guards who can hit threes and move and push the ball. And then you're gonna need your bigs like Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson to be able to run with the guards. And I think the other cool part is, like, maybe it's like some fantasy basketball shit where now we're seeing people that shouldn't be together. Like, what happens if one group can pay fucking Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Caitlin Clark? Fuck it, we just let them all go out there, kill everybody. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that I think that would be really cool. You get to see. Hopefully they're not tied down to a certain team, but obviously there's only 6 teams. So it's going to have to be a mix, but that would be really, really cool to see. Yeah, yes, I agree. They need to put them in, and also not just put them in commercials together, put them in commercials with Asia. Put like Caitlin Clark and Sabrina thing together, and Nike honestly is probably working on that as we speak, like Sabrina and Caitlin Clark with the 3-point shooting. Yes, I agree, but that's why that's also why I'm trying to highlight Aja Wilson, because she is one of the 2-3 best players in the WNBA, and I think she deserves the light. But yeah, putting these women next to them, have Angel Reese do content with Aja Wilson and so on and so forth, and use them to shine a light on them. And I think that would be really cool. And you also just sparked it. They need to create content around this league. And I don't know, maybe that's what you were talking about originally, Elijah, but creating content with, the women being on different teams, players that they don't usually play with, and playing into that, and then maybe going from that 3-on-3 league going into the WNBA season. It'll be really exciting. So it's going to be in the winter too, so I'll expect them to be I'm going to expect some of these women to somehow be incorporated into the All-Star break, because they said it's going to be in January, right, or some shit like that. Let me see. We'll launch in January. So January, All-Star break is February. I could see them for a weekend doing something like that. So yeah, look I would say look for some kind of, if they're not incorporating Unrivaled, for some of the women to somehow participate in All-Star break. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff for them, man, because one, they've been balling like we've been talking about, and they got all these eyes on them right now. But as always, Elijah, thank you for hanging out. Everyone, thank you for hanging out with me and listening to me yap as always. You could have been anywhere on the internet, but you're here with me, and I appreciate y'all for that. They're probably, if they're not, they better be doing that shit for Michael Jordan, right? For Caitlin Clark right now. They need to be documenting her entire career, because she's gonna need some Last Dance shit. Yep, and that is what I think I'm gonna talk about some of the top players. I'm gonna have to come up with some content between now and the NBA Finals. But like I said, thank you for hanging out with me. Could have been anywhere on the internet, but you're here hanging out with me, and I really, really appreciate y'all for that. And as always, it's your boy, it's your host, Jayson Estrera. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, because it'll help me out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully Game 5 is lit tonight. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace. Thank you for coming out, Elijah. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.